Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be seeing as to why the remittances from the advanced economies are increasing as the total percentage with respect to the total remittances received by India. At the same time, we'll see why this increase and why the lowering of the percentage of remittances from the Middle East countries like UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, etc. So, more on the news. What we are seeing is that there is a significant shift in India's remittances. Now, the remittances as such are growing. However, the percentage share of different countries or countries from different region is taking a shift in this case. So, we are seeing that the remittance landscape is shifting from Gulf to advanced countries. What does this mean? That means the percentage of share of the Gulf countries is reducing and that of the advanced country is increasing. Now we are going to dissect this entire news and understand what is the reason for this shift and what does the future hold for India with respect to remittances. So let's get started. Now before that, one important announcement about the new batches that will be starting. So we'll have the regular batches starting from 17th of April as well as 12th of May. Now these are regular batches, that means Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It will cover your UPSC requirement comprehensively with respect to the entire syllabus, classes, live lectures, current affairs, notes, books, essays, prelims, mains, personality test, test series for prelims, mains, everything else that is needed. Now, apart from this, there are aspirants who are not full-time aspirants. You might have commitments for your colleges or you might be a working professional. So for you, there will be weekend batches starting from 19th April. Make sure you enroll in this before the start. One more important thing is about the free All India mock test series for 2025 aspirants. So enroll it so as to get your All India rank. Of course, you will be provided with instant solution and most importantly with discussion that is going to help you increase your prelims marks. So now let's dive into the news about the decline from the Gulf and increase from the advanced economies. So what is this percentage shift? We'll go into the details of country-wise later, but let us say in total with respect to advanced economies and Gulf countries. So in 2016-17, as you can see, around 46.7%, that is close to half of the remittances were coming from GCC countries, that is Gulf Cooperation Council countries. There are 6 countries from which these remittances were coming. Now that reduced to 31.6 from close to half, we went down to below 1/3. And of course, there is slight increase right now, but again, it is close to 1/3. So you can say approximately half to approximately 1/3 is where we have been. In the same manner, if you look the other way around, if you see the advanced economies, you will realize that in 16-17, it was 38.3, just above 1/3. And then there was a decline, but now there is an upsurge and it is more than half of the remittances are coming from the advanced countries. So it is not a small shift, it is a major shift that we are talking about. The other countries, 15%, 31%, 5.7%, it is quite erratic. Now, more on the news. So when we talk about the advanced countries, particularly which country are we talking about? The United States, that is US, United Kingdom, that is UK, Singapore, Canada and Australia. They together account for more than half the total remittances received in 2023-24 as we just saw the chart. Now they have of course overtaken the Gulf Cooperation Council. So the Gulf Cooperation Council have been overtaken by these advanced countries. Now, this shift of India, what does it do? Is it a positive? Is it a negative? Can it have both the aspects? So first things first, if you look at it, it will allow India to further leverage remittances from Indians working abroad for development in the country. Of course, because there is an overall increase. So it helps us to leverage this increase in remittances for further development. That is absolutely right. That is a very simple positive of it. However, it also raises certain questions about the changing pattern of migration overseas, changing pattern of remittances. See, you have advanced economies, you have GCC. Now, if what we would want that the remittances increase from here also, at the same time here also. So that would be an ideal scenario for India. But what is happening here, it is increasing, but here it is going down. So this shift can also be concerning to us as to why it is going down in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. However, of course, because there is a reduction here, that is why probably there would be corresponding increase there. For example, investment in gold may increase because investment as shares has gone down. So that is what is leading to investment increase in the gold. In the same manner, remittances from AE might be the result of reduction of remittances from GCC, meaning less people are going here and probably more people are going here. It is not that additional people are going here and the people who are here are coming back. It's not the case. There would be some amount of trade-off which will still be there. So we have to see our policies, why this migration shift is happening, so that what we can do is ensure AE, advanced countries, from there we receive higher remittances. At the same time, the GCC Council remittances do not as such go down. Now, if we look at the remittances from the Gulf, historically the 6 GCC nations, which are these nations? You have Saudi Arabia, you have United Arab Emirates, you have Qatar, Oman, Bahrain and Kuwait. So you have Qatar, Oman, Bahrain and Kuwait, important countries of GCC. Read about their location, which country is opening to the Persian Gulf, etc., etc. They are opening to the Persian Gulf. So know all these information, geographic information from this map. Now these were the countries which have been the biggest contributors of remittances to India. Right. However, they have now decreased. Now, what is the reason is what we will see. Reasons for this decline. The very first thing is the economic downturn that was caused by the coronavirus. That is COVID-19 pandemic. That is one reason. Second is the role of the Indian students or the Indian diaspora at large. What is happening is lesser number of people. Now, lesser means not less than USA. We'll see the number of people in USA is less, or the advanced economies is less, but still they are remitting high. We'll see why that is the case. Now here students and all involvement is not much, because in Gulf countries the education is not that good, whereas it's completely opposite. In the advanced economy the education is good, so more students are going there rather than going to this country. So all of a sudden, when I say role of students, basically the role of students or the influx of students to the advanced economy has increased the remittances. Now how the students, let's say if students enrollment increase the let's say remittances, that is because these students take loan, go abroad, study, get the job, and they pay back the loan to the Indian banks. So they pay back in dollars, it's converted in Indian rupees, and the loan is paid. So that also amounts to remittances. Imagine 50-60 lakh of loan you take, that is also going to be paid in addition to the remittances that is being sent home. So that is the role of Indian students over here. Now another thing is nationalization policies, such as there's one name is that nitakat, which is also known as Saudization. That means the nationalization in Saudi Arabia that is going on, which is talking about empowering the local talent. So Saudi Arabia is looking to empower the local talent to provide jobs to the local people rather than the migrants. That is one more reason which may lead to it not being that attractive a prospect as it was previously. Now, how much is the fall? In general, we saw the fall in remittances. Now let us see country wise. So for UAE contributed around 27%. Now it has gone down to less than 20%. So that's a huge decline. Saudi Arabia from 11.6 to it has gone down to 6.7. Kuwait from 6.5 to 3.9%. So how much is the decline over here? The decline over here is around 20% of decline, because we are talking about a decline of around 8% over 27%. So it is greater than 20% decline. From 11, there is a decline of around 5% on 11.6. So close to 40% of decline is there. from there is a decline of around 2.5% over this. So again 30% plus is decline. So a huge amount of decline is seen in the remittances. Now what about the remittances from the advanced country? Of course it has increased. US remains the largest contributor, accounting for close to 28%. So of course it has overtaken UAE, close to 28% in 2023, and previously if you look at in 2016-17 it was just 23.4%. In the same manner, if you look at that for UK, Canada and Singapore, you will realize that UK from 3 to 10.8% means it has become 3 times, a huge increase from 3 to 3.8, and here also there is an increase. UK has seen a drastic increase. Now we have seen the increase over here. Now the question is, does this increase reflect more number of Indians going to the advanced economies? No. Why? Because the number of Indian migrants to US is smaller than GCC, right? But still, why so much of remittance is coming? Because of higher salary, higher minimum wages, which is leading to higher remittances from people in USA to India rather than that. So an average Indian citizen in USA is remitting higher amount of money than an average Indian citizen in any of the Gulf Cooperation company. Now what does the future behold for remittances? Now this will need a bit of analysis, and it can go either way. For example, with the new Trump regime, there is a lot of deglobalization and nationalization having being done in USA as well, as a result of which it may not become that attractive a prospect. Absolutely correct. So what will happen? Less people may start going, as a result of which less remittances. But at the same time, what will happen is the people who are already staying there will start remitting as much as they can, so that they don't keep their money invested in USA. They, instead of wanting to invest in USA, they would rather want to invest in India, where they want to come back. So the investment of their money in USA will reduce, and remittances can further increase because of the uncertainty in the policies of the Donald Trump regime. So it can go either way. Possibly more remittances in the near future may happen in India in the advanced economy is what is expected. Thank you.